Um, when it's time to break it off, and when it's time to speed it up.
Mm-mm.
So, let's start with break it off. You hanging out with somebody, y'all having fun for a little bit, going out to dinner. First time you got to do them chicken tenders are extra good. The honey hidden. The frozen drinks are sweet as hell. And then y'all go in there like hanging around each other and, spooning with a little bit of slippage, But then, for those that are not the one, there's a time comes when the fish just ain't that fresh.
Mm-hmm.
And the service is a little bit too slow.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, it's time to end it. Well, or for the lady, like, the dude's jokes just aren't fun anymore.
Mm-hmm.
His car isn't clean enough for you anymore. When you decide, yeah, I can't go further with him or her, and, I need to cut my losses and look for greener pastures.
Well, I always resort back to Blink, one, because I like the book, and two, because it has a very, very...
Malcolm Gladwell. Let's help him.
By Malcolm Gladwell. But he said something in there that I apply to all relationships now, because it is super true as far as knowing when it's time to break it off and when it's time to, move forward. And what he says is he's referring to positive emotion reinforcement and negative emotion reinforcement. So in the beginning, just like you were saying, everything is sweet, rosy. They can do no wrong, and all you get is positive emotion reinforcement. No matter what they do, it's right. Like, you can justify it. You feel good. Everything's great. Y'all chilling. No matter what they do, it's either amusing, funny, whatever. And then the transition, and he says this is like the number one indicator of when to break it off, is when, like, all those little things that then used to annoy the hell out of you, and they can do no right, because now you shifted into negative emotion reinforcement. So it's like, all right, man, they blink too much, or why in the world they always leave their shoes right here by the door? like this random stuff start to annoy you, and he say it's time to break it off right there, specifically because if you don't, then you're going to transition into a point where you actually start being negative toward the person. So it might start out as like you thinking these things, and then it transitions to you just being downright, right, like rude and mean against them. And for me personally, it's like I look at it from that standpoint, and then I look at it from my primary one is peace, right? So, like, you're never going to always have peace in a relationship, but at the same time, peace is one of those things that two people usually give each other in a relationship. And only speaking from a male perspective, like, I know for any relationship for myself, like, if I'm out having to deal with crap in the world all day, like, my relationship should be my fortress. Like, I should be able to come back to my relationship and unpack, and we chill, and we can just be cool in each other's presence, so I can vent and not be judged for it. I can do and say whatever, but that's a place of peace where I feel good and safe doing whatever, saying whatever, and just having that person there for either just their presence or support or whatever. Now, if I get to the point, though, where, and I mean, I get to a minute, because this actually happened recently with what we were just talking about, but like, when you get to a point where, like, you can have no peace, right? So, like, it's like, you don't start nothing. You're not generally verbal, and like, for whatever reason, people want to just be like, all right, well, you know what? Being quiet is negative. All right, you're telling me stuff, but I don't actually like what you're telling me, so that's negative. I want communication, but now you're giving me too much communication, so that's negative. I'm like, hold up though. Like, first of all, I've been me since day one, for better or for worse. You know how I am. So where's that transition point where something done happen where, either you feel a certain type of way? And for me, I understand it simply because, like, I travel a lot, I move a lot. Without fail, when I go to another location, people get to acting funny. So I'm like, all right, I see what's going on here. Because having somebody physically in your presence, I understand that's a huge difference. Like, when you got somebody right there that you can see, you have physical contact with, you can forget about a whole lot of stuff that might annoy you. You might be like, all right, all this stuff annoy me, but we together, it's cool. And then you remove that from the equation, and it's like, you know what? All this stuff is still annoying me, but you're also not here to resolve it. So now you just got negative emotion reinforcement on both sides. So me, I'm always like, all right, you know what? This is not peace. Right. And no relationship on earth is going to be peace 100% of the time, but there's a ratio, right? So like you're going to have your bad times. And just from my personal experience, like it's a couple of relationships I had where being mad at each other ain't going to work. We might be able to be mad for about an hour or two, maybe a day max, but it got to be resolved because it's just not a natural thing for us to be upset with each other. When I can be upset with you and chill on it for a month, chill on it for a couple weeks and not be bothered and be like, oh yeah, I hadn't talked to you. Like, it's time to be out, man. Like it's time to be out because now I'm not only are you no longer adding anything to my life, like I don't even miss you on any level. Like there's no contribution or contributing factor that I should keep you around because now it's just like for the sake of being in a relationship. And I never do that. I'm just like, all right, it's easier for me to just cut ties and keep it moving because we've already determined this is not for me. But that's just my perspective. I'll kick it over to the Washingtons.
So it's funny, when you talk about, you said, the things that were once cute become annoying. And
why you look at me before you started?
I thought you were going to say something.
No, I thought
because it's interesting because a lot of that is also said when people get married and start living together. Yeah, but I think what makes those different. I think what makes it different is when you're dating. No, you make those decisions like, these things annoy me now because we get to know each other. Then, like, your true self is really fully revealed. But you also make that decision, and your heart has made that decision that you want to spend your life with this person. And the stuff the little things that kind of annoy you about them is also, the ingredients to make them the person that you love.
Right.
So, it's about deciphering what those are. Like there are some things that are just deal breakers for certain people. And I think what makes you make that decision to break it off with a person where those things that were once cute are now annoying is that person overall was annoying you before, and those little things are just shining through like brighter.
Yep.
Put a highlighter on.
Yeah, it's
negative emotion reinforcement.
like you're annoyed with that person from the jump. It's just that now you're annoyed with that person and the fact that their feet stink. Yep. Is too much, Yep. Or they talk too much, or like, damn, this nigga ain't funny. That's like that stuff. I think that's what it is.
Yep.
And it's a reason like with the reason why there's so many people in this world, but you always end up you tend to gravitate towards one or two people that you could spend like a certain amount of time because we came into this world, alone for the most part. I mean, there's a gateway, we have parents and stuff, but, we came in with our own sensibilities, our own personality. So, when deciding who you want to spend the rest of your life with, it's not something that should be taken lightly because that person stuck with you and vice versa. And you don't want to waste any time, whether it's I don't give a fuck if it's 30 seconds.
Damn right.
Something that annoys you to your core. Because that's time you... And we all can say, well, it's time that you can't get back.
Yep.
So it better be worth it. The heartache better be worth it. The tears better be worth it. Because it has to be worth the laughter that you're going to invest, Mrs., you have anything?
Well, just to go on the annoyances part, I agree with you in terms of sometimes the annoyances are something that you love about the person at the same time, the give and take. But I think that if you're really into somebody, like, it's not a real annoyance either. So if you're not really into somebody, like, just to your point too, Rich, like, it's gonna be like super annoying. It's gonna be the type of annoying that it's like, yeah, you can't deal with the person at all. But like the annoyance, I think there's levels to it. Like, there's an annoyance where it's like, that's like annoying, like aggravating, but you can get past it. I think that kind of has something to do with the quality of the relationship.
Yeah,
it's a sign.
Yeah, and I mean that is exactly like, and I mean a lot of people have done study on it, but that is exactly where people feel like negative emotion reinforcement kicks in, because it's like that annoyance that wasn't really annoying and you could deal with it as long as you wanted to be with them. But then the second it starts to transition into that point where you no longer want to be with them, it's like, you know what, that annoyance really isn't that serious, but I'm going to make a big deal out of it because now I don't want to be with your ass anymore. So now it's really annoying me. But, I mean, Rich made another good point that I swear by, and it has a lot to do, at least for me personally, like with deploying and going to combat a lot of times and, you know, seeing dudes 18 years old go down and all other type of crap. Like time, like, I just don't play with it. Like, I'm one of them people where if I wake up in the morning and I know it's not it, I'm going to let you know it's not it, you know, and that's just a decision that people got to respect. And I think what people fail to realize is that usually when you're having a conversation like that, there isn't one of those, all right, well, you know, let's try to do this and let's try to do that. Like, the decision has been made. You know, it's not like all right, let's elongate the process. Now you're wasting time. And I don't understand why, like, a lot of people, knowing they've already left the relationship and then they will choose to still be in it for a period of time. And that's usually when someone ends up cheating because they're looking to be fulfilled somewhere else. But you're still holding on to this over here. And it's like, when it's time to let it go, and you know it's time to let it go, just let it go. Like, if you're direct about it, you honest about it, like, they may hate you in the moment, but that's a decision that you gotta respect later. And I know with me, like, recently my whole thing was exactly that. Like, you got annoyances with me that wasn't annoyances, which really mean, like, you know what, this probably been annoying you the whole time. I'm fine with that. You're like, I can understand that. But that also should be a sign to you. If something that I'm doing that I've been doing since you've known me is starting to annoy you that much that you got to make a big deal out of it, maybe I'm just not for you. You know, that is not like something that's I'm going to take some type of way. That's just a fact of life. And vice versa. So it's like, all right, this is something that's happening on both sides. Why are we going to waste another moment trying to salvage something that's already been sent to the scrap yard, compressed, and, you know, it's been made into recycled metal already? Like let it go. And let's save this time. And I think, you know, some people can deal with that and some people can't. And me personally, and people hate me when I say it, everybody won't understand till they get it. Especially if you serve it with no tact. And it's just like, look, this is what it is. This is what it isn't. And even if you're doing it out of respect and you're doing it out of the most sincere and honest place, like if somebody not prepared to hear that, or somebody feel like, you know what, especially people that feel high and mighty, like, you know, I dare you say that to me. Like, do you know who I am? Well, I mean, that's great, but I don't care about who you are, because the one thing that I do absolutely love more than anybody else is myself, because you got to take care of yourself first, and you can't do anything else if you're not taking care of yourself. So, like, if I'm not emotionally stable and I don't understand that not only self-love but love in general is a selfless act, then I'm screwed up from the beginning. And that's another thing that people miss that cause relationships to go awry. Like, you know, caring and loving are both things that are supposed to be selfless. I don't need to care about you the way I want to care about you. I need to care about you the way that you need to be cared about. I don't need to show you love the way that I know how to show love. I need to show you love the way that you receive love. So it's like people try to take that and they constantly try to give what they think that you need when you actually know what you need.
Mm-hmm. My question is for that, like, all right, so going off of that, when you say people need to be loved the way they need to be loved, not the way that you feel they need to be loved, my question is, when it comes to those that want to show love, but they want to show love the way they show it the best, can you give respect to that, like, and meet that person at that level of love in which they give? So,
I mean, my thing is, I feel like you can. And the reason I say that, and this also goes back to time, like, you got to give everybody a certain amount of time to learn you, right? But someone learning you will also be shown in their level of observance, like how much they actually want to learn you will be reflected in how much attention they actually give to the things that you want and need. I'm open to receiving how anybody gives, simply because that's probably, they've subconsciously built this up over however many years they've been alive, right? But my thing is, at the same time, just like that is them, I am me. And the whole point of us, or people in general, just being together is to learn each other, to grow together, to understand one another. and have an understanding of how somebody else